You know when you're watching a movie and some actor just completely owns the screen? They don't have to yell, they don't have to throw a punch, but you just feel their authority. Well, today we're going to break down exactly how that works by digging into the subtle genius of Akshaye Khanna and his incredible ability to project total control. So yeah, that's the big question, right? It's a really interesting puzzle. In a world of cinema that's full of loud, explosive performances, how can quiet intensity actually be the most powerful weapon an actor has? Let's figure it out. Okay, so check this out. You've basically got two different ways to play powerful. Over on the left, you've got the conventional style. It's big, it's loud, it's aggressive. It's kind of what you expect. But then you look at what we're calling the Khanna method. It's the complete opposite. It's not about being the loudest person in the room. It's about being the most focused. This isn't about physical force. It's all about psychological pressure. So how does he pull it off? Where do you even start? Well, it all begins with something super fundamental, the power of stillness. This is where you learn that real, genuine confidence, it barely has to move at all. And this gets us to a really cool idea, economy of movement. Just think about it for a second. Wasted motion, fidgeting, all that nervous energy, what does that signal? A lack of control, right? So the opposite must be true. When every single gesture is deliberate, when every movement has a clear purpose, the actor projects this vibe of absolute self-control. Nothing is by accident. And here's what that actually looks like in practice. There's no fidgeting, no nervous tics. Any gestures are slow. They're deliberate. The posture is just grounded, like you couldn't knock this person over if you tried. It gives you the feeling that this person cannot be rattled. They aren't just impulsively reacting to things. No, they are consciously choosing how to act. And that right there is the definition of being in command. Okay, so we've got the body down. Now let's move up to the face and to what is maybe the most powerful tool in this entire arsenal. Forget the dialogue, forget the action scenes. We're talking about the weaponized gaze. Now, this is way more than just making eye contact. This is a whole technique, and it really has three parts. First, you lock focus. Your eyes stay glued to the other person, ignoring everything else around them. It tells them they're the only thing in the world that matters right now. Second, and this is the killer part, you stop blinking. It's so unnatural, it's so unnerving, and it puts this immense pressure on the other person. And finally, the slow turn. The head might move, but the eyes never leave the target. It feels almost predatory, and it is absolutely commanding. So what's the big takeaway here? It's that the gaze becomes an active force. It's not just passively taking in information. It's an active projection of pushing your will onto someone else without ever having to say a word. It's how you can completely own a room just by looking. All right, time for our third and final piece of the puzzle. We've covered the physical, we've covered the visual, so now let's talk about the audio. Because it's not what you say or even how loud you say it. It is all about the cadence of control. And check out the vocal tools he uses. A person in power doesn't rush their words, do they? The pacing is measured, it's deliberate, because they know people will wait to hear what they have to say. The pitch is usually a bit lower, more grounded. But the two most important tools here, the strategic use of pauses, that silence forces you to hang on their next word, and the focus on clarity over volume. Anyone can shout. That can even be a sign of desperation. But a clear, quiet statement, that signals absolute conviction. I mean, just take a line like this one. I am not asking, I am telling you. Now imagine someone shouting it. It sounds almost desperate, like they're losing control. But now imagine it delivered with those techniques we just talked about. Low pitch, slow, with a little pause right after asking. Power is just undeniable. It's not an argument anymore. It's a statement of fact. The delivery turns it into an order that you don't even think to question. Okay, so we've looked at the individual pieces, the stillness, the gaze, the cadence. Now let's put this whole puzzle together and see how these parts combine to create this complete, totally convincing performance of authority. In this table just lays it all out perfectly. You've got the stillness, which broadcasts unshakable confidence. You've got the gaze, which is all about intimidation and control. And then you have the cadence, which gives every word unquestionable authority. When an actor can blend all three of these together, the effect is just magnetic. It's overpowering. And that really leaves us with one last thing to think about. When we break down this on-screen technique, what are we actually learning about power in the real world? It kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? Is real authority something you have to shout about to prove you have it? Or is it a quiet, centered confidence that you just hold? Something to think